I was wondering. Well, that too.
We're here at Turlock Lodge 236 for a Veterans Award.
It's better old, huh? At least it's still living. Please escort the honoree into the lodge room.
Present to you, brother, wonderful Marilyn Harris, our new 50-year recipient.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Golden Veterans Award ceremony. I would like personally thank worshipful brother Gary and Harris for giving me this opportunity to be part of this very special event. Brother Marshall, please conduct our honoree to the seats prepared for him. Golden Veterans Award presentation honoring Gary and Harris. The year was 1970 when the Beatles began. The first Earth Day is observed. Bell bottom, high waist, jeans, and tie-dye. When Apollo 13, a U.S. lunar spacecraft, suffered several malfunctions on its journey to the moon and safely returned to Earth. That same year, a young man by the name of Gary Lynn Harris wandered into his local Masonic lodge and submitted an application. Little did he realize that he was entering upon a lifelong journey. And tonight we are privileged to recognize the first 50 years of that journey. Brethren and friends, it has been custom of the Grand Lodge of California to present those brothers who have attained a minimum of 50 years of membership in good standing, the Golden Veteran Award. This honor is presented only to select few who have reached this point in time by their own volition and the will and pleasure of our great Creator. The most worshipful Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of the state of California has noted with gratification that Gary Lynn Harris has been a member of regular Lodge of Masons for 50 years. At this time, we shall have the pleasure and privilege of bestowing upon him a visible token of our fraternal love and appreciation. In accordance with the teaching of our institution, let us first invoke the blessing of God.
Supreme Grand Master, ruler of heaven and earth, we thank thee for many years which thou hast granted to our brother. We thank thee for life, health, and strength, and daily provisions. For thy providence, grant to our brother many additional years of life. Be ever near him. Sustain and comfort him. Lead him in thy ways, that he may have happiness and friendship all the days of his life. Amen.
So will it be.
And entered the Francis Nation on June 11, 1970. Passed to the degree of Fellowcraft on August 15, 1970. Raised to the sublime degree of Master Mason on October 22, 1970. These degrees were all in Turlock, Lodge 395, now 236. Brother Marshall, you'll conduct Brother Gary to the east. Brotherly Harris, in recognition of you having been a member of a regular lodge of Master Mason for more than half a century, and by direction of our most worshipful Grand Lodge, I am honored and privileged to present to you this visible token of the fraternal love and appreciation by your brethren. This Golden Veterans Award is but a small token of the esteem in which you are held and the affection which you are regarded. The gold color in this pin is used to signify 50 years of membership. The blue face alludes to a righteous conduct as limitless as the vast expanse of the sky, which is so necessary to maintain that membership. The square and compass and the letter G etched on its face are recognized as an emblem or insignia of our Masonic fraternity. Certainly, many important, successful, and even famous men have seen fit to adorn themselves with our beloved square and compass, but only a select few, a tiny fraction, are ever entitled to wear that coveted and prestigious Golden Veterans Award. It is emblematical that purity of life and conduct which should be displayed by Masons, whithersoever dispersed. It is a badge of merit and distinction which will cause your brethren to recognize you as one who has long been devoted to the ideals of this institution. This beautiful pin, we know, will be worn with pride. We sincerely hope that you will wear it with pleasure and honor to yourself and to the fraternity. Brother Marshall, you will conduct worshipful relative or cousin to his seat. Then, Brother Marshall, conduct our brother to a place between the pillars, and when instructed, conduct him once around the lodge, stopping at the altar. while I provide a brief summary of our brother's life. My brother, when you entered the temple 50 years ago, you stood between those pillars, which represent the spiritual and material composite of nature. On top of those pillars are two globes, are representing the earth, and the other, the heavens. The one representing the heavens reminds us of God and from whence we came. And the one representing the earth of that which we eventually become, based upon the lives we live. Only by a belief in a supreme being and the desire to do good works for our fellow men were you able to continue your journey through Freemasonry. Brother Marshall, you may begin your travel. Gary William Harris was born in 1943 and raised in Turlock, California. He is the eldest of the 4 boys. His siblings are Michael, James, and David. Their parents are Joseph Lynn Harris and Gary Lynn Harris. He went to Turlock High School in 1961. He attended Modesto Junior College in 1962. Since 1943 to 1962, he grew up on father's dairy farm. In 1963 to 1965, joined the U.S. Marine Corps. After he was honorably discharged, he went to Molar Barber College in Stockton. He worked as a barber and at the barber supply sales as well, from 1965 to 1967. He didn't stop there. He continued to explore and follow his dream. In 1967 to 1969, he worked as an insurance agent in California Farm Insurance Company. From then on to 2011, he stayed in the same field as an insurance agent. Because of his enthusiasm and dedication to his work, he became president of the board of directors and CEO for Western Valley Insurance Associates Incorporated. The agency has 3 offices and 50 employees, specializing in all forms of agriculture and commercial products. All this greatest achievement in his career, he shared it with his spouse, Arlene Lynn Harris, children, Lori, Pansy and spouse, Rob, Kaylin and spouse, Brian, Tiffany and spouse, Bill, Joey and spouse, Kelly, with 10 grandchildren. Being busy with his career, he still affords to affiliate with other associations that are related to his job. To mention a few are Almond and Walnut Grower Association, International Indemnity Company, Sequoia Insurance Company. In 1970, this was the year when Gary found his way to Masonry. Gary went on to sit in almost every position in the lodge and was master in 1985. He has been officer coach for many years. Gary served from 1988 to 2005 at Temple Committee. As a Mason, he is also a member of Scottish Rite Brothers in Stockton, California, Amish Shrine in Auckland, and member of Turlock Shrine Club. In spite of this hectic schedule, he does several volunteer services, but he makes sure he saves some time for his children and grandchildren and enjoy his life peacefully at his ranch. My brother, with pleasure we behold you before the altar of Freemasonry, that altar which you were taught to approach 50 years ago. There you assume obligation designed to make a lasting impression upon your mind and to serve as an uplifting and ennobling influence upon your life and character. Again, you have approached the altar of Freemasonry this time to commemorate the recognition that comes only to those fortunate. Brethren, you have labored upon the temple faithfully for half a century. 50 years ago, you remember your Creator in the days of your youth. Today, we commemorate the completion of your half-century of Masonic fellowship. In a span of 50 years, each Mason gives of his substance. Many give also of their time. Others add loyalty and steadfast devotion. But to all of us, our gentle craft gives far more than we could give to it in a lifetime of service. Thus, when we pay tribute to you on your golden veteran anniversary, we also pay tribute to your fraternity, which opened its portals to you and which made it possible for you to build your life upon the sublime principles it inculcates. On a memorable occasion 50 years ago, when the badge of the Mason was placed in your hands, you were admonished to wear that spotless apron with pleasure to yourself and honor to the fraternity. Thus, I trust you will so wear the Golden Veteran Award. May you wear the emblem in health, happiness, and prosperity. And may your days belong upon the land which the Lord God has given us. May the joy of this moment abide with you always. And may you ever stand at once be stood a just and upright Mason. Brother Marshall, you will escort the worshipful in Harris to a seat in the east. Brethren, you will join with me in saluting our brother by the battery of three. 3 times 3. Together, brethren. Brethren, behold your newest Golden Veterans Award recipient. My brother, I am pleased to present to you this Golden Veteran Award certificate. And with it, I extend the heartiest congratulations of our Grandmaster and the entire Grand Lodge. Can't see the smile. I tell you that how many people can't.
Like the rest of you do. But my trip in Masonry has been a real pleasure. Started out, I don't know how many of you that are still alive that know this, but not very many.
That concludes our ceremony, and I'm going to give this to our worshipful master.